Hey guys, just a reminder, nothing I share here is financial advice. This is all based on my own experience, my strategy, and how I see the market. You're responsible for your own trades, so always do your own research, manage your risk, and never trade money you can't afford to lose. This content is meant to help you learn and think for yourself, not to copy or follow blindly. Let's keep it educational and intentional. Okay guys, let's see what we have. I've already journaled my trades. If you're doing it as well, keep it up. The trade from earlier that I had running hit the stop loss after I took 2 TPs. So overall, a nice win, even though it didn't reach the full target. But we'll come back to those levels later as targets. The next one that got stopped out was the last trade I had, taken with smaller size. My first entry was a bit higher, the second a bit lower, so the average was somewhere in the middle. As I shared yesterday in Discord, I wasn't allowing price to go below yesterday's low, so I moved my SL to that low and it got hit during the move down. As we can see, the loss was small, which is already a win in itself. And, well, I'm not finishing the journal with a 100% win rate. The last planned trade actually played out very nicely, but I didn't take it. It was shared in the update though, so congrats if someone took it, and congrats if someone simply learned something from it. No need to take every setup. I would say I made a mistake on this trade. It had nice confluence, and we had clear targets higher with equal highs and poor highs. But we also had lower targets, and as mentioned before, I didn't like the poor candle lows. That's why I reduced size, and it saved me from a bigger loss. So all good. Sometimes trades work out, sometimes they don't. This was more of a B or C setup, so the size was adjusted accordingly. Okay, let's end with that and mark out our levels. First, I'll check the weekly, then the daily, then we'll mark the averages and slowly move down to the lower time frames. Let's go. By the way, if someone wants a small journal like the one I use, you can join my Patreon. It's available there. And of course, you can adjust it to your own style. It will be updated in the future. But even as it is now, it's already a good starting point to track which setups are working for you and which are not. You'll also get access to my monthly stats sheet. The next plan is to share the Rabbitbox strategy with members before I go on vacation. The first members who are already in the group will get it for free as long as they stay in the group. So there's still a bit of time. I'll be on vacation next week. After that, the strategy will be available as a subscription for both Patreon members and others outside the group. So make sure to check it out. It's a spot strategy, but how you use it is entirely up to you. Link to the Patreon is below in the description. Okay, now let's jump into the analysis and start marking out the levels. So on the weekly time frame, we're currently seeing an SFP of the previous week's high. In this scenario, the target remains around the weekly equilibrium of the candle that got SFP'd. That level stays as a valid target, as long as this range doesn't hold. The day still hasn't closed, and there's potential for an SFP here. But if that happens, we still need to see strength afterward. Without strength, I would expect lower levels to be hit, basically in line with the plan we laid out on Monday. we can see price is already trading below the average, and that's quite early in the day. So if it stays within the averages, I could expect a bounce, potentially after a few more SFPs of this low. As mentioned, that's if it stays within the average. The max downside sits around 109, but as always, I don't expect that to be hit. It happens rarely. Only if we actually reach that level would I take action. Until then, the daily average is what I use consistently, and as you can see, it tends to be respected nicely. Price is now approaching the discount zone of the 12-hour range. The best setup would be at the order block below. As for me, I'll already start to ladder into the position if we get a new low. So keep in mind, in this scenario, that's not my stop loss. Since price made a new low, we now have a new 4-hour swing high, which means the 4H remains in bearish structure. Any rise from here is potentially just a lower high, unless it breaks above the previous swing high or starts to build some local bullish structure. Same applies to the 1-hour time frame. For now, it shares the same swing high as the 4H. This will be updated if we form new ranges or make new lows. Now let's have a look at the ranges and the local level. We can see that this range had a support level where price bounced multiple times. Now that it's been broken, that same level becomes our key area to watch, either for a lower high or signs of strength if it gets reclaimed. Since we don't have local structure here, the first bounce should be treated as a potential lower high. If someone is looking to short, that's the level to watch. For me, it's not a short, as we're still holding our short from higher. So I'll just sit it out if it bounces and watch the reaction. quite a big structure gap here. So yes, it can break through, of course. But often we see a pause at these spots, which could also mean a potential bounce. I already had a small limit set here, but not on the main account. For that, I'd prefer at least another sweep, and ideally the lower level if it doesn't get front run. That would also likely be the moment when most people turn bearish again and start aiming for even lower targets. So for myself, I'd prefer to see a new low, best case, with a bit of range forming first. Now this could go straight up from here, but it will run into resistance, and I don't have a clean invalidation here unless you're scalping it. So it's important to watch the reaction at the low of the previous range. However, If this level is reclaimed, especially the open range, then the targets are higher, and I would simply look to trade the retest on higher lows. That would basically be the same trade areas I had already before. It would mean this was just a deviation out of the range, followed by a move back inside, and then I'd target the poor highs we've had above. So I'm in no rush here, especially on my main account. For that, I'd need to see a new low for the first position, and then I'd ladder in lower from there. Now, what if it gets front run? Well, we simply don't ignore the signs. If it gets front run and I see strength by reclaiming a key level, then of course the plan will be adjusted. I won't just sit there hoping for lower levels. Momentum is under downward pressure, and on the 12H, volatility is starting to pick up. As long as price remains below roughly 1 or 20K, the pressure remains to the downside. It could still end up forming a range, but if the bears want to push it lower, now is the time. 4-hour and 6-hour timeframes are giving confluence for the resistance level, so as long as price stays below this level, momentum on the lower timeframes remains bearish as well. You can see this level was marked out based on both support resistance and structure, a potential lower high zone. Now this tool is just an extra layer of confluence for that idea. I don't need it to know that it's the key level to watch, but it definitely adds confidence. Well, that's actually it for the plan. It stays the same for now. I'm just preparing the trades for my main account, and we'll start laddering in as planned. I'll keep you updated in the Telegram group or in the Discord, depending on how much time I have. If you're not sure what to do, then don't over-average and don't oversize. Don't let emotions take over when you see a move. You still need to have all your strategy boxes checked before taking a trade. Stick to the plan. Once again, if you enjoy these updates, you can join the Patreon group. You'll also get my strategy for free as long as you're inside. Free spots will be limited. Besides that, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm always happy to help. I'll update you on the trades as soon as I take action. Stay safe, guys. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the Telegram group for Patreons. Wishing you a great day, stay safe, and see you in the next one.